Hello again. Hello to all. Welcome back again. Today we are going to discuss about OSI model. It's in a layer-based topology or a protocol mode of communication, which was developed by National Standard Organization. What is? Let's start. What is OSI model? Open System Interconnection. As its name suggests, it's an open source for systems to interconnect with each other. The model define OSI model defined computer networking framework to implement protocols in 7 layer. Protocols in the networking term is a kind of negotiation and rules between two networking entity. Your entity may be a network or a vendor. An open interconnection, there is really nothing to do with OSI model. In fact, it is tangible. So okay, tangible, but it's in a reference model. It's a reference model. So who developed OSI model? We have an international standard organization who set standards for each and everything. They have developed a system called OSI model. It's divide network communication into 7 layers. In this model, 1 to 4 layer considered to be a lower layer, and the most concern themselves with the moving data that are physical in nature. From 5 to 7, they called upper layer. They contain application level data, that is software, protocols, etc. Network operate on the basis of these principles. Prior to this, there are many models of different vendors, like HP have its own model, Cisco have their own model. With these, they face some issues while interoperating. So I also have came up with this model. It has 7 layers. First one start with physical layer, as said in the prior mm, slide. One to four, one to four, 1 to 5 are the considered as a lower level and physical in nature. Also, the first one is physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport, session, application, and the seventh one is presentation, and the seventh one is application. The lower layer transmission of data, it's look into the transmission of data to upper layer. You can say that the data starts to flow from low to up, application oriented. The remaining two are uh, application oriented independent layer. First one is physical layer. The physical layer is also called as a hardware layer. Here are the basic functions of this layer. This layer is responsible for sending electrical signals, light signal, radio signal. As it's in nature, hardware in nature. So just say if you connect two or more network or a peer-to-peer network where you are connected to CPU with a cable of RJ45. The moment when you plugged into the RJ, the your network card of both computers send electric signals that they are all are up. Hardware layer hardware layer of the OSI device like repeater, hub, ethernet work on this. and some protocols like RS-332. Most of you maybe heard of RS-332. This is like a console cable. One end of it look like a RJ45 and other end look like a, VGA. It's basically connected to RJ332 port, 232 port for taking console of most of the devices. ATM FDI Ethernet work on this layer. Data link layer. Data link layer is also called as a layer of second layer of OSI model, layer 2 of the model. Here are the basic functionality of this. Most of you must be heard that this device is layer 2 device. Basically, switch are layer 2 devices. Switch basically operate on layer 2. That's why it's most of the time it's called layer 2 device. This layer is responsible for encoding and decoding electrical signal into bits. In prior, we have said that when we connected to network via LAN cable, the moment they plugged in, they send signals to each other. The way they send the signals are in bits and are encoded. The sender is encode the signal and the receiver decode it. It's okay. Manage data error from the physical layer. It check on the first layer whether is there any error in the LAN card. It's also used for checking the LAN card. The data link layer is divided into two sub layers. The first one is MAC at the media access control layer, and the logic link layer LLC layer. The MAC sublayer control how the computer on the network gain access to the data and permit to the run. Most of you must be heard that the MAC resists on the LAN card. It's unique in nature. You cannot find the same MAC number of any other LAN card. MAC address is the part of layer 2. As I said, the switch work on layer 2. It's layer 2 device, so it's maintain MAC table in its in its table. Device like switch work on this network layer. Network layer is also called a layer 3. This of a OSI model. Here are the functions. Routers are There are switches which functions on L3. They called L3 switches, and its router are also L3 switches. Sorry, L3 device. They work on IP addresses. They maintain IP table. Switching and routing technology work here. Network layer itself says that a network between two different devices. It's possible with this layer. Create logical path between both hosts across the world wide web or virtual circuit. Route routes the packet to destination. When someone send anything to any other device over the network, first it it encode decode. That's the task of data link layer. This layer route data from one destination to other destination. Internetworking, error handling, conjunction, control, and packet sequencing work at this layer. Router work at this layer. So most of the time they we say like that router are layer 3. The different network protocol work on this layer are TCP/IP, IPX, AppleTalk, etc. Transport layer. Transport layer is also called as a layer 4 of a OSI model. Here are the basic functions. It's This layer is responsible for transparent transfer of responsible for transparent transfer of data between systems. The very first moment when the sender PC sender data, uh, it's the work of transport layer to uh, transmit that data to the destination host. This layer take care of it. Responsible for complete data transfer. When we send any 2 MB file to the any destination, uh, it's responsibility to check the recipient receive the data in full. It's not like that when you send get data losses and it's receive only 2.5 MB. It's not happen like that. The protocol XPX, TCP, UDP are work here. Session layer is also called a layer 5, responsible of establishment, management and transmission of termination of connection between the application. Most of us have been doing a video call over WhatsApp. uh, WhatsApp is the best example for this layer. It's create session whenever we are there on the call. It's responsibility to stay on that layer, and when we disconnect that call, it's again the session layer responsibility to terminate that connection. You may have heard about SIP, just not that financial one. It's session in, I forgot the full form. SIP call, SIP calls. Session layer set up coordinate and terminate conversation action between dialogue between application each other. Skype is also another application which work on this protocol. Protocols like NFS, NetBIOS, RPC, SQL work at this layer. Presentation layer. The presentation layer is also called as a layer 6 of OSI model. Uh, Here are the basic. Responsible for data representation on the screen. When all this layer passes data, the presentation layer is responsible for reflecting that data to the receiver. Suppose when I send 2 MB of data photo of let's say Katrina to the recipient of other in the form of GIF or a JPG, it's the responsibility of this layer to send exact that format to the host. Encryption, decryption of their data also the responsibility of this layer. While sending any data, while sending any data, uh, encrypting that, and once it's received to the host, decrypting also responsibility of this layer. Layer 6 presentations example include ASIC, EBCID, IF, GIF, JPG, MPEG, and MID. Uh, The examples over here, some of are well known like GIF. They are a small video, a small animated clip which are running on this GIF. JPEG, it's the format of photo. MPEG is a format of video, and MID is an audio format. Application, the last one. The application layer is also called a layer 7 of OSI model. Application layer support applications, apps, and end user process. The name itself says application. Like when we type www.google.com, we actually using this layer. It's based on operating system. Application layer support applications of the end user process. The quality of services, when we type when we type YouTube and watch any video, the quality of services is responsibility of this layer. This layer is responsible for application services for file transfer, email, and other network resources. Protocols like Telnet, FTP, HTTP work on this network. The moment when you open your browser and type google.com, basically it's an HTTP application. Again, FTP is an application for file transfer. When we download anything on internet, it's FTP is the services, and again an application where it stored. Telnet is a small application, you may heard of Putty as well. These are the small application which used to troubleshoot switches and routers. So guys, this is an overview of this application, this OSI model layer based. We will do a practical on all this uh, layer practically on packet tracer. Packet tracer is a Cisco's product which is widely used in network industry for demonstrating or teaching, and as well as in a corporate to design the network. The packet tracer is an open source. We can download on Cisco's website. It's basically a simulator where you can dumbly create anything and do whatever practicals you want on this. So till then guys, have a nice day.